I'm staring too deeply into your eyes. I've never done this before.
So sketch stuff then. How do you do it?
Let me just clarify that I have bronchitis at the moment. So when I laugh too much, I will cough.
Okay. So let's keep it plain and boring.
Yep. No laughing.
So this is the origin episode.
Yep. This is the origin episode. That's what I should have said when at the intro.
Yeah. You're not professional like me.
No. Not at all.
So, as the title suggests, this episode is about how we came up with the idea of doing a podcast and how we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode for me is more of a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's more so that in the future when we have like 50 episodes or whatever,
We can come
and
back and
somewhat of a following, people can come back and learn about the origins.
And we can come back and cringe.
Yeah. Especially at this intro. I'm sure I'll cringe at the intro in about an hour's time when we're editing it together.
I'm sure. Or if we find something where it's a good starting point, we can just cut out this cringe.
Yeah.
So yeah, first episode, origin episode.
Yes, we've been planning this for it's like 3 months now, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 months, maybe longer. I'm sure. I definitely feel like everything we've done, all the projects we've done together, has probably led up to this point. Like YouTube channel.
Definitely. Yeah, I had a YouTube channel.
And we collaborated on that a few times. So this is definitely just like where it's all come to.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of especially when we were younger. All we wanted to do was come up with projects we could do together. Or I'd come up with a project and I'd try and rope you into it somehow. So I used to want to be a comics illustrator.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very good at writing stories. So I'd always try and rope you into writing a story for me. And it never really worked out.
No, I feel like my writing style is not really cut out for the sort of comics we wanted to do.
As well as that, you're kind of a perfectionist when it comes to your writing. So you would always like write 7 chapters and I'd be like, sick, I'll start illustrating, and then a week later you'd be like, oh, I've started again. it just wasn't doing it for me. Yeah.
Also, I'm a huge procrastinator, so
you are a huge masturbator.
And then never finish it. Story of my life. I hope we finish this.
Well, we've started.
It's still finished now, though.
It could end at any time. If the podcast cuts out, Ash went to procrastinate.
It sounds good right by now. We got stuff to do. So, yeah. How long have we been friends now?
It's about 10 years.
About 10 years.
I think it's just coming up on 10 years.
Yeah. It seems like, I don't know, like it's not been that long. Like
no, I don't know. I don't remember life before Ash. Like I might as well start counting my years. It's not 2017.
Yeah.
What is it? BC? No, we're not. We're AD. AD. Yeah. It's
CE. Just was it current era or common era or something like
that?
Yeah. But yeah, no. 10 years for me. It feels like it's not been that long. You know, because like you said, it was the other day. You said 10. It's coming up on 10 years. And I was like, fuck, we were like, no way.
But the reason for that is for the past 3 years we thought it'd been 7 years.
Yeah. Well,
which was true 3 years ago, but we just stopped counting, I guess.
Yeah. We met in school.
Yep.
I can't remember what year I was in.
You were a year above me.
Yeah.
Because you're a year older than me.
But yeah, it was really good meeting because I was a complete shit in school. And I got kicked out of one of my lessons for arguing with a teacher. And I went to one of our mutual friends and was like, "Do you wanna skive? You wanna go skip school somewhere?"
Skive, yeah.
No, exact words. I've been kicked out of my lesson. Do you wanna go skive somewhere in the park?
Yeah.
Maybe we can do things. And then she was like, "No, I can't, but I know someone who can." And then she walks me up to this fucking giant of a person, big ginger knobhead.
I'm not.
You weren't ginger.
My beard was probably ginger at the time. No, I was dyeing my hair, I think, back then. It might have been just before.
I met you when I think you were just finishing growing out your little bowl cut, but you were still definitely blonde.
Yeah, I think that's when I started trying to trying to grow my hair.
Yeah.
Because I played Guitar Hero with a friend, and one of the haircuts you could get was like a emo fringe. but it was dyed blue at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want that.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll touch upon your cringe.
Yeah,
if you can dig out those photos, that'd be amazing. But yeah, so she walks up to this big guy. You're like maybe like 6'1" then or something, or maybe 6'2".
I think I was just only 6 foot.
6 foot.
And you were like 5'8" or something.
Yeah, I was about 5'8" then. She walks me up to him and is all like, "This is my friend Connor. He's a bit of a rebel like you as well."
We should probably clarify actually that my name is Connor.
Oh,
yeah.
Probably would have been good.
Yeah.
So.
And you're Ash.
Yeah, if it's hacking cough, then it's Connor.
Yep.
If it's just some monotone northerner, it's Ash.
We're both kind of monotone northerners.
Yeah, but you've got a nice little phlegm in your voice at the moment. So yeah, she walks me up to Connor and she said, "Connor's a bit of a down and out like you two. He'll sky with you." So I was like, "Yeah, sounds good to me. Do you want to sky with Connor? We'll go to the park." And he was all like, "The park? We'll go to my house. We'll play Halo."
Yep.
And then from that moment on, we've been best friends ever.
From that moment on, my high school grades slowly declined.
Dropped.
Yeah.
That was a bit of an influence on you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it started like maybe once a week. We'd be like, let's Skype, let's go to mine and play Halo. And then it'd be like every day.
Yeah.
Come lunchtime, we'd go. And then it got to the point where if like a couple of weeks off was coming up, we'd be like, oh, we might as well Skype the whole week because they're not going to ask us about it when we come back. They'll have forgotten.
Let's start our holiday early.
And I think at one point we took a month off.
Yeah.
We still went into school because you didn't live near me.
No.
So you needed the lift to school to get near me.
We'd walk through the front gates, meet up, and then walk on the back gates.
Well, we'd go to registration. It used to be we'd do first 4 lessons because we had 6 lessons.
Yeah.
We'd do the first 4 and that'd be lunch, and then we'd fuck off.
Yeah, we'd just walk out the gates.
And then when we got a bit braver, we'd do 2 lessons and then leave. And God forbid we bumped into each other in the hallway on the way to a lesson because we were like, oh, you're already here, we might as well leave now.
It wasn't that... I mean, I definitely was brave enough to not even go to school. I would have gone straight to your house. But, like, it took a while for you to come out of your shell and start, saying fuck the rules.
Definitely. No, yeah, I remember I was super nervous every time we did it. Like, what if a teacher sees me and...
You used to make...
we used to take such a long route.
You made us run down the road and take a sharp right onto this... it's just... some road of the houses where it led to a quarry and we'd fucking
go through the quarry. Yeah.
And you made us do it. I think we started skiving in winter sometime, so like the first few times you made us do it, it was soaking wet and it started snowing and it would just, by the time I got to your house, it would just, our feet were numb and probably bleeding, and the only thing that made up for it was that we had cheese toasties every time.
Mm-hmm. And barbecue sauce. We had too much barbecue sauce.
Too much.
Yeah. I managed to finish school with mostly C's. I got an A in IT and an A in art. But the IT classes were really, really basic stuff. So I'd go in like once every 4 weeks and just do the whole 4 weeks worth of work.
I fell out with my IT teacher. I fell out with all of my teachers. I didn't like them.
Yeah.
Especially my art teacher. He wanted me to, I wanted to work on my own art style and develop my own, brand basically.
Yeah.
But every lesson it was kind of like, this week we're learning about like Monet. I want you to make a portrait in Monet's style, and I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to replicate the greats. I want to be the greats.
Yeah.
I want to do my own shit, get my own shit in a fucking gallery somewhere. The art in school quickly killed my inspiration for it, and all that love.
That was my form tutor, wasn't it? That teacher.
Mr. Brown.
Yeah, Mr. Brown. Irish guy.
Yeah.
I liked him. I liked him so much that when I did my NDA show in college, because I went on to learn graphic design, which we'll get to later, I invited him. I hadn't seen him for 2 years, and I was like, maybe my art teacher wants to come see what I've been doing.
Yeah, I liked him as well. He was a good guy and all that. It would have been better if...
He was a bit bipolar.
He was very bipolar. Like, it'd been good if we were just like friends outside of school. It'd be a bit weird because I was a kid and he was a grown-ass man. But like that's the sort of personality and the only relationship you could really have with a guy like that is as friends. He he just couldn't. I couldn't be the guy that had to take orders from him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I say orders. It was just a teacher, but
Well, it was an art teacher as well, so.
Yeah, he had a doorknob collection.
Yeah.
But
the weird thing about that was he would say, "Do you want to see my collection of knobs?"
Yes. Well, what happened to me is like someone was sat at his desk because it was all hard working on little projects, and someone went to his computer to put music on, and they opened up one of his desk drawers, and it was all like, "Why have you got a door full of knobs?" And I burst out laughing.
A door full of knobs.
A drawer full of knobs. Sorry. And I burst out laughing, and then he told a little story how he collects doorknobs and pictures of doorknobs
and door knockers.
Yeah. And for like the next like half an hour, no one did any work. He just loaded up one of his PowerPoints of all his pictures and just scrolling through like his little slideshow.
Yeah.
And he's all like, "Oh, I love this doorknob," and I was like, "It looks like the last 10. What's different about it?"
Yeah, I remember his favourite was when he took a picture in London of a door knocker. There was a lion's head with a ring hanging from the mouth.
Which I've seen a million times everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. But he was super proud. It didn't even have that door knocker. He just had a picture of it. Yeah. And he was massively proud of it.
I just imagined him like in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. He's just skulking around parts of London, making sure no one's looking. He's just got a fucking chisel and a hammer and just whacking doorknobs off doors and knockers, and he's just shove him in a bag and run off. You just hear him up the road clinking as he runs.
He was from Northern Ireland, so he had a lot of stories about the conflicts there. And there was one about a bomb went off on his street, and there was a dead person's torso on his ceiling.
Yeah, no, it's on this. I think he said he was working in a small like newsagents.
Right.
And the owner went outside because there was a commotion or something like that, and something exploded. And he continued working there for a while, and he noticed there was like some like a pest problem. There was like fucking birds going onto the roof, pecking at something. And so the new owner, or one of the owner's family members or something, whoever was like his superior, told him to go up there and see where it was. And as he got up there, apparently there were just bits of skull fragments and brains and flesh laying around, and the birds were just picking at it.
Oh, that's brutal.
That is. Mr. Brown, eh? Paul Mr. Brown. He's not dead. I don't know why I said that.
Well, he might be. It's been a while, like 5 years since I last saw him.
We had some right weird teachers there. Mr. Robson was weird.
Yeah.
He was like, he must have been like in his 30s when we were there. But he was like, he acted in...
Oh, Mr. Robson?
Robson.
Science teacher.
Science teacher.
The guy who's crazy about, what is it? That band. Every time we had non-uniform, he'd wear their t-shirt.
I don't know. But he acted and dressed like he wanted to recapture his youth.
Yeah.
Particularly his teenage years where he was super into like metal, and so he wore band t-shirts and he grew his hair out long and it's all well and good and that, but it's a professional environment. He should have dressed proper and got a haircut.
Wait, which Mr. Robson? Because there was 2 science teachers called Mr. Robson.
There was only one that I know of that was a metalhead, and
there was a lanky one, like really thin.
No, I don't think he was lanky.
And then there was a Mario to his Luigi, who was he was one of my favourite teachers. But recently we found out he dresses up in drag now. He quit his job so he could be with a transsexual.
I don't know. I think what we found out, that might be the case now. But what we found out is that he left his wife.
Yeah.
Which
for
back then
pre-op trans. Yeah.
For pre-op transsexual. But we knew back then that he was having troubles with his wife because he just freely talk about it in lessons.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird.
Oh, there was once this girl sat next to me, and he was making jokes, and we were all sighing and slapping his foreheads and stuff because they were like shit puns. And the girl next to me went, "Oh, I don't know how your wife deals with you." And he went, "It's a good job she don't have to anymore, isn't it?" And then held his hand up to show he didn't have a ring on, and we were all like, "Oh."
That's just cringy. I can't even feel bad about it. I mean.
Well, I felt bad. I really liked him because me and Ben used to stay back after lesson to talk to him about video games and metal.
Yeah. But yeah, it turned out that he left his wife, went out with a pre-op transsexual, and me and you, when we found out, our faces just lit up and we were like, maybe that's why his fucking marriage wasn't working.
Yeah.
Because he was into the dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it may well be the case now that everyone's around in a frilly dress.
I think I've seen pictures of him doing that. Because after I left school, he added me on Facebook, which I found weird.
That's very weird. His whole situation is weird, but I mean, more power to the guy if that's what he wants to do. Whatever. Probably.
Yeah. But what made me realise you were talking about a different Mr. Robson is that you said that he had a moped.
Right.
But he shaved it for charity. So I never knew him with long hair.
Right.
So,
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe it's the same Mr. Robson, but when he shaved his head, he created an alter ego that like dudes.
Shaved his head so he can wear better wigs.
Then we left school after being one of the worst students ever.
Yeah.
And then, did much really happen? I mean, none of us went straight to college. I mean,
You did. You went to college,
Yeah,
but I still have my last year to do.
yeah, I fucking hated college though. I was there for like a week.
The reason for that though is because you had to do your GCSEs again.
Yeah,
because you were never there.
I went to my GCSEs. I never went to pick up my results. I didn't give a shit at all.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I probably need to go redo them.
Yeah.
So it was so awkward because I didn't even know what results I got. So when I was applying to resit them, they asked me what my results were, and I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm here. But I was in there for like a week, and I fucking hated it because like, I don't know, I just hate the classroom. I'm more of a do-it-myself, like learning my own time, my own way guy.
Yeah.
And I was just sat there, bored out my fucking head, talking about things I already knew about as well. Like, I'm not an idiot.
Well, because when I was in college, they asked me to redo my English because I needed a B to do graphic design for some reason, and I had a C.
Yeah.
I didn't go. I went to one lesson, and then just lied the rest of the year about going because when I got in there, it was full of people who didn't speak English.
Yeah.
So the teachers were talking to us like we were children, and I just couldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's why it was so unbearable for you.
We had a nice racial mix. There was a few Asian people in there. There was some white guys. I think there was some guy from Saudi Arabia or something like that. I don't know. It was a nice mix. It wasn't bad. They weren't talking to us like we were kids or anything like that. It was just it was a simple fact that I'm not an idiot. I'd already done all the stuff we were learning about years ago. Yeah. And I must be somewhat of an idiot because it took me a week to realise it was. I'm not. It's not mandatory. I was there by choice. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going.
Well, that's kind of why you didn't really want to be in school as well, because you already knew most of what you've been taught. Yeah. Because the irony of this whole situation is that you're the smartest person that I know.
Thank you.
And you always have been.
I always tell you that as well. Like, you're the smartest person, actually. I fucking know. So you forget.
But, yeah. I feel like you're smarter now than you were back then. But you've always been really resourceful. If you want to know something, you know how to find out.
I can't sit around and not know things like...
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of people that are just happy going through their life, not knowing things and, you know, sitting on the dole and drinking special brew and then having babies and then those babies doing the exact same shit when they're older. Yeah. And never going anywhere. I'm not like that. I've seen the stuff that my parents have done and I want to do something better. Yeah. And I don't know, there's something about learning about something that gives me a bit of a rush. Like, you know, it's better to know things than not to know, because then that's ignorance. You get out of that. Yeah. I'd rather be the guy that knows. I'd rather be the smartest guy in the room than the dumbest guy. Yeah, totally. So, after college, not really happened for me. You went to, did you go to college first and then university, or did you go straight to uni?
No, I did college. I did 2 years of college, graphic design. I got 3 dissertations? Not dissertations, distinctions.
Right.
I don't really remember much about that. It was kind of boring.
I remember you were going to learn about graphic design and they had you doing like illustration, like sketching the perfect human form. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's great that they taught you to do that, but you don't really need it for graphic design.
No, I agree with that. Like, I'm glad that I have it in my skill set that I can draw. I could already draw going in, but I did improve my illustration abilities. But as a graphic designer that I am now, I never use it, never need it. Yeah. So I don't think it was necessary to be a graphic designer, but I think they were just trying to fill time slots.
Yeah.
They needed something extra, and somebody was doing a live drawing class, so they were like, "Oh, we'll throw them in there."
Yeah, and then you went from there to university.
No, I didn't. I did 2 years after college, living with my dad, because he was really ill at the time. I signed on as his carer, and that's when we did the YouTube channel, which we did for 2 years and never got more than 200 subscribers.
The only thing I remember about that house that you're in was we went out drinking one night, and we had pre-drinks at your place, and you were on the phone to someone, right? And I was like I was rightfully smashed at that point. We'd drunk what was it like? Was it called sours or something like that?
Oh god, that's
and it was like drinking nail polish.
It's so gross.
We drank the whole bottle plus some copper burgers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I went to the toilet and I came back and you were laying on your bed, so I just sat on the bed next to you, and you were on the phone. So I like leaned over to try and hear the phone, and you said to someone on the phone like, "Ash's head's looking really manly right now," or something. And I was like, "What? What? Are you as drunk as I am?"
I don't remember it.
Did you actually say that? Yeah, he was like, his forehead's really manly right now. It's because I used to have long hair, and I think it hadn't been long since I'd cut it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, my hair was short, so you could see my forehead properly, and I was waxing it and like pushing it back a bit so it didn't hang too much. And I think it was like the first time you'd properly seen my forehead in all the years that we've been on each other.
What a way to realise what your forehead looks like.
Yeah, I didn't realise I had a manly head until you said that.
That's
my only memory of that. It was the house was built like it was an afterthought. Like
it was
you walked down the corridor and suddenly it had like a 30-degree angle. And
like, in the corridor.
And then it straightened up again, and then the boiler was like fucking 5 foot tall and it was right above the bath. Yeah,
so you couldn't have a shower without leaning down.
You're like what, 6'3"?
Yep.
And
I'm 6'4" now. But back then I was about 6'3".
Your dad's about the same height, isn't it?
Yeah. My dad's shorter than me, but just by
taller
age.
than him now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 2 6'3" guys, 54 guys cramming themselves in like what, maybe 4.5 foot to get a shower.
It was really.
I mean, I never saw it, and I'm glad I didn't see it. I could.
Can I tell my favourite story about that house?
Go on then.
I guarantee you it's your favourite story about the house as well, you just don't realise.
I think I know where it is. I'm already grinning like a Cheshire cat. Go
on. So, just finished recording a YouTube episode with you, YouTube video. Yeah. And I hear the ice cream truck, and I hear the dogs barking, and the front door slams. My dad's just run out to get us ice cream. He comes back in. His hand's got an ice cream in each hand. Dogs are jumping up at his legs. And he comes into the doorway with his pants around his ankles. Because the dog's jumping up had pulled his pants down. But he was holding ice cream, so he couldn't bend down to pull his pants back up. So he was just stood there holding 2 ice creams and smiling at me. Well, I'm trying not to piss myself laughing because my dad's just come around the corner with his pants down. He had boxers on. Probably.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
No one needs to know if your dick's bigger than your dad's.
Yeah. No one wants to know. Not even me. No. So I got up, grabbed the ice creams from him, and immediately called you on Skype or whatever we were using.
You told me that you didn't even help him with his pants. You just took your ice cream. You just took your ice cream, backed off, and closed the door and left him to himself.
The funny thing about that is he still only had one hand to do it with.
Yeah. Oh my god. That is my favourite story. I wish I'd have been there to see it.
I wish you were there too.
So then you went to uni.
Yeah, then I went to uni after doing a shitty job at Blockbusters for a few months.
Yeah, I remember that because you pre-ordered Grand Theft Auto 5 for me and they fucking cancelled it, didn't they?
Yeah. Also, they had a cool thing where I could take games out before they came out because we got the stock in Italy. So when Halo 4 came out, because Halo was like a thing of ours, that's what we used to do when we started school, we'd play Halo 3. When that came out, when it was going to come out, I took it out, took it to yours, and we finished it in one day, and then I took it back.
Yeah. Yeah, and while you were at uni, I had various jobs that didn't last very long. I worked in a comic book shop for a bit. 2 weeks.
Worked at Victoria Hall.
Victoria Hall, yeah. So shout out to Victoria Hall.
Yeah.
Happy burns down. No, I mean the building is really nice. The building.
Yeah.
Really old. And because it's in Saltaire, it's kind of protected under this act where they couldn't get like anything more than single glazing windows. Like if they needed a window replaced, then they had to make sure it was single glazed. They couldn't upgrade it and stuff because they want to keep the old fucking Victorian aesthetic sort of thing going on. So it was really cold in the winter, and we weren't allowed to wear jumpers and stuff because it was unprofessional.
Oh wow.
I mean, you could wear a jumper, but I don't fucking like jumpers, mate. I like hoodies that zip up so that if I feel like I'm being suffocated too much, it's zip. There we go.
Yeah, you don't have to try and pull it off and take your t-shirt.
They wouldn't let me wear my hoodie. So, it's not really much of a problem because it was really packed at that time as well. Yeah. Like everyone were booking in, so I was constantly running around carrying 300 chairs and tables all up and down the bloody building, and so I was breaking a sweat anyway. But yeah, so Victoria Hall worked there. It was alright. Really liked my manager. She was awesome.
Yeah.
And then that ended, and now kind of work together. You got fucking awesome results at the uni.
Uni I did that for 3 years. It was a BA honours in graphic design. I didn't like it. I hated it. Yeah. They really shafted us. You went super like hard mode in the first year, weren't it? And then like second year was like half-assing it, and then third year you just didn't give a shit. Well, third year wasn't that I didn't give a shit. It's that I had a really demanding job at the same time. But yeah, I was thinking of quitting, but I didn't for whatever reason.
I'm really glad now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I got what do you call it? a first. Yeah,
you got a first.
I know it's a dissertation again.
Dissertation. Yeah, you got a first, which is amazing. Proud of you.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
So yeah, and then it's not been. Yeah, it's about 3 months, and then he was like, "I want to do a podcast," and I was all like, "Great, let's do it."
Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah. Podcast. And for anyone who's still listening this far, congratulations. The reason why you should come back for the next episode is we want to make this a podcast for basically for everyone. We don't want to cut anyone out, but mainly we want to inspire other creatives like we are, whether you're a writer, an illustrator, musician, whatever you're sculptor, whatever you're creative,
exactly.
Whatever your beast is.
Well, before we did the podcast, we had the marketing talk, the business deal, where we discussed what our target audience would be.
Yeah.
And I listen to podcasts all the time, all day, because I've got a graphic design job.
Yeah.
And graphic design isn't a very thought-heavy job. There's the idea stage where you've got to come up with what you want to do, but as soon as you get to creating it, it's more...
You just shut your brain off.
Yeah, you shut your brain off,
Your muscle memory takes over.
So if I'm not watching YouTube videos, I'm usually listening to a podcast while I work.
Yeah, I've started doing the same as well. Yeah. I'll be designing some stuff and I'll throw on a podcast and listen to that.
Yeah. So that's why we decided to do it.
Yeah, we want to inspire more creatives.
Yeah, we decided that our target audience would be people like us, so people who are into the same kind of things we're into, people who have a long commute, because I have a 1 hour and 20-minute bus ride to work every day. Also creatives.
Yeah. Creatives, yeah. Which is good because like we're creative. Very creative. I mean, I write. I dabble in music. I try to finish songs, but I'm a massive procrastinator, so I never finish them.
You've got a graphic design job.
I was really heavy into art back in school, and I want to try to get back into it. Illustration. Just need to build up muscle memory again, because my brain knows everything and what it needs to do, how to make a perfect human. It's just my hand can't keep a straight line anymore.
Yeah.
It's fighting against me.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone that is like that, they like having things that they like creating, then hopefully this podcast is for you. And if you're not a creative person, but you like video games, movies.
I was going to say video games is going to be a huge part of this podcast, because it's a huge part of those.
I think people say these days like, oh, I grew up with games. It's like So did every fucker else.
Yeah.
Everyone's grown up with games now.
That's a good point. But our friendship is built off video games.
Built off Halo 3 and Rockets.
Yes.
Love playing Rockets on Halo 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you're not creative, if you like movies, TV series, or games, there's something here for you.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
we definitely hope to see you all in the future episodes.
For those who are creatives and looking to get into similar industries, thinking of doing a podcast in the future about graphic design, about breaking into that creative industry, where I'll probably talk more about my university then rather than now. So
yeah,
that'll be. I've been thinking about that a lot at work, so I'm kind of excited about it now.
Yeah. So.
We just hit the 30-minute mark.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, speaking of 30-minute mark, our podcast will probably be longer than this normally. I just wanted the Origins episode to be kind of shorter because it's kind of narcissistic talking about ourselves, and that's not really me. Yeah. So I just wanted to get it out of the way, and then we can get into talking about things that we like.
I don't imagine many people will be watching this the first time through. Like, if we upload this like in the next 20 minutes, I don't imagine like thousands of people are going to listen to it. I imagine most of our fan base are going to come from like later episodes, but then
they'll come back.
This can serve as, like you said at the beginning, something they can come back to and listen to and be like, oh, so that's why these guys are fucking weird.
Yes.
You know, like. So yeah, thanks for not watching, listening.
Not watching. No. Oh, we will upload it to YouTube, but there won't be much to watch. Yeah. To be fair.
Thanks for watching / listening.
Yeah. Actually, okay. I know you keep trying to end the podcast, and I keep trying to keep it alive. But,
my bad. I just stubbed my toe.
Speaking about what we were saying earlier about having creatives listen to the podcast, what I want to do at the end of the podcast is offer some project, like optional project that listeners of the podcast can do if they're struggling for ideas. Because I remember before I actually got a job in graphic design and I wanted to do my own stuff all the time, it was hard to come up with ideas. You'd always hit a wall. Yeah. And it was nice just to... There's these things which are really popular on the internet where it's like a list and it's like every day draw something related to this buzzword or whatever.
So what, like on DeviantArt they had those like day drawing challenges and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I want to do something similar to that, where at the end of every podcast we'll give a drawing challenge which is related to the podcast, to what we said. Yeah. Well, not a drawing challenge, a creative challenge.
A creative challenge.
So, and then they can tweet us the results at UT2cast on Twitter. So my idea for this podcast is I want people to, like sculptors, 3D modelers, illustrators, anything like that, try and draw what they think we look like based on our voices. Right. Because we haven't put anything out there about what we look like. Right. All you've said is that I'm ginger. Okay. And I mentioned my beard.
Maybe I was lying. Maybe you've got a normal hair colour.
So, based on our voices and the certain context clues you picked up in the podcast, try and create what you think we look like. And for those who don't work in that sort of illustrative sense, like musicians, for example, try and pick something up from the podcast that you could create something from. For example, musicians could possibly sample something from the podcast. Something we've said and make something.
And make some sick vocals out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even need to be a song or something. It could just be put a filter on our voices and make it sound really ridiculous.
Cut up our voices to make it sound like we're both bumming each other or something.
Yeah. Or you could just make a meme out of it.
Vladimir Putin's like, I love dicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever creative thing you think you can do with the episode,
you just offered that sample of you saying that.
I love dicks.
Yeah.
I'll just do it again.
You have? Oh, they've got 2 versions of it. Animators as well.
Yeah, really sick animations. Every creative person out there, just do something amazing.
And tweet it at us. Even if it's not related to the podcast, we want to. If you listen to the podcast and you want to show us some cool shit,
like just tweet at us. If you're working on something while listening to our podcasts, and you finish it, tweet it out.
I would love to see what you've managed to accomplish whilst listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to collect all these as well, and have a nice big folder dedicated to it all.
Well, exactly. The Twitter will serve as an archive of people's. So what we'll do is when you tweet at us, we'll retweet it. Yeah. I don't imagine for a long time that it'll become such a large capacity of people tweeting at us that we won't be able to retweet everything.
Yeah.
But if it gets to that point, then I'm sure we can discuss that when it comes to that.
Yeah, we'll might have to just pick out like the best ones, the ones that we like the most or something, which sucks for everyone else, but there's only 2 of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you can end it now.
Can we end it?
Yeah,
so,
you can.
Thanks for listening, which is like what 5th time I've said that.
Yeah.
We hope you tune in for the next episode, which
is about Nintendo Switch.
Which I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so excited for. I've been hyped for this. Like since we first thought of doing a podcast, I'm pretty sure I was playing Splatoon or something at the time, and I was like, I just want to do a podcast about this.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I hope you are as well.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I was talking to the listeners as well. I hope you, the listeners, are excited as well. Goodbye.
Goodbye.